a dynamic island, better than ever cameras, the brightest phone ever, plus crash detection and SOS Satellite communication. All these things could make the iPhone 14 one of the best phones you can buy. Or is it? Let's get right into it. So the iPhone 14 has landed, and I have my hands on the 14 Pro in space black with 256GB of local storage and a 6.1-inch screen. It really doesn't look that much different from last year's 13 Pro. Even the cameras appear in the same place, therefore no major redesign here, and it's going to be tough spotting which phone someone is using based just on the camera layout. This is how you'd previously spot those lucky folks with the latest iPhone. In the box you get the lightning charging cable, which is now standard on iPhones, but no USB-C charging just yet. No charging brick either, so I suggest you buy the Apple Original if you don't already have one. You also get a pin to open the SIM card tray, again no surprises, but note that if you buy this phone in the US, there is no SIM card tray and you can only use an eSIM. On first impressions, it looks awesome. The bezel looks a little thinner and the camera bumps are a little larger than previous models. The price is still premium though, and it's going to cost you over £1,000 or $1,000 for this 256GB version. And of course the price goes up the more local storage space you require. You've also got a choice of colours such as deep purple, gold, silver and my favourite space black. If you already have something like an iPhone 12 or later, you have to wonder why you'd want to upgrade. Well, let's dig a bit deeper and find out. The new A16 Bionic Chip gives a performance boost, but probably not a huge amount over its predecessor, maybe 10% at the most. Its 6-core CPU has 2 performance and 4 efficiency cores. It also boasts a 5-core GPU and 16-core neural engine, but it's not a reason alone to upgrade in my opinion. However, a massive upgrade which could tip the balance in favour of buying the iPhone 14 is the huge 48 megapixel main camera sensor. This is 65% bigger than the 13 Pro. With its 24mm lens, fast f1.78 aperture, second generation sensor shift optical image stabilization, 7-element lens and 100% focus pixels, images are sharp and vibrant with good color saturation. I really like how this phone nails the details. Low light photography is impressive too, as long as you have some light for that fast aperture to absorb. This thing can almost see in the dark. 48 megapixels is a massive leap from the previous 12 megapixel main camera, which had become the norm in recent years. With a bigger sensor you can crop more or enlarge without losing quality. You also have the 12 megapixel ultra-wide, 13mm f2.2 aperture and 120 degree field of view camera, giving a nice wide view and stunning macro images. And the 12 megapixel telephoto camera will give you 3 times optical zoom and up to 15 times digital zoom, plus an f2.8 aperture. The front selfie camera has a larger f1.9 aperture to gather 38% more light. It has autofocus and produces less noise. These cameras are amongst the best in the world in my opinion, but maybe don't differ a whole lot from the iPhone 13 Pro, apart from that wonderfully large 48 megapixel sensor of course, which is truly a leap forward for iPhone in my opinion. Also, all iPhone 14 models can now shoot in RAW format, so you get full control over advanced photo editing. There's still no 8K video though, but that's not such a bad thing for me, as I'm not interested in 8K video right now. The file sizes are just so huge, they're almost impractical. If 8K is your thing, then you'll need to look elsewhere. 4K video can be shot at 24, 30 and 60 frames per second, and the 4K video looks amazing. It's sharp, full of colour and seems to nail the scene every time. This is mostly why I use iPhones for the video work I do on YouTube. You also have cinematic and action modes which will give you some creative results should you wish to use them. Cinematic mode now has 4K at 24 and 30 frames per second. It creates super sharp video with that dreamy blurry background. It looks great and I can see myself using it quite a lot. Action mode will yield smoother action video to reduce shakes, movement and vibrations. I'm not really a runner or action hero, but you might find it useful. If you are serious about your smartphone photography, you cannot do much better than this phone right now. Crash detection could save your life if you're in a serious accident. It uses a plethora of built-in sensors to detect a crash and then gives you a short amount of time to decide whether it should call the emergency services or not. If you don't respond, it will call them for you. Many of the built-in sensors will be employed to ensure this feature doesn't give any false alerts. You don't want your iPhone calling the emergency services just because you fell over while coming out of the pub. It's easily done. It's not a feature I want to test at all, and it's something I'll probably turn off, but you may find it useful. Something else that might save you is the emergency SOS via satellite feature. So if you have no cellular connection, the iPhone 14 can connect you to a satellite to relay an SOS message and pinpoint your location. You'll need line of sight of the satellite, so no thick tree cover or overhanging rocks, and you'll need to be in the US or Canada. It won't work if you're outside of those places. So if you're lost in the Amazon, that's the jungle, not the website, then you're in a pickle, and all your iPhone can do is take some pretty pictures and video to document your demise. But if you've wandered too deep into Yellowstone Park, for example, you might be able to call for help. Note that some foreign visitors to the US can also use this feature, depending on where they bought their phone from. So the iPhone 14 could save your life, but only if you get lost in the right place and you're from an accepted list of countries. I hope this will expand soon. This is also the brightest phone you can buy, with outdoor brightness reaching a staggering 2000 nits. That's twice as bright as before. You can also utilise the new always on mode, so you can instantly see the time and notification banners without having to touch your phone. It'll turn off when it's in your pocket, but expect it to zap a little more juice when active. Personally, I don't bother with it. One of the coolest things you can find on the new iPhone is the curiously named Dynamic Island, which is basically an interactive widget at the top of the screen. It'll expand and display interactive information, and it's actually quite useful, and something I can see catching on with other phones. I hope Apple keeps it. For a case, I chose the awesome Spigen, or is it Spigen, liquid air case. This isn't a sponsored segment, by the way, I just prefer their cases. They always seem to get the fit and the style just right. It's thin, but there's enough to give you some good protection from dropping. The buttons are protected and all the cutouts are perfect. Also, it's slightly raised around the bezel and cameras to keep the screen and cameras off a flat surface. The back and sides have a pattern that give you a very good grip too. I'll put a link to this in the description if you want to know more. It really is a great case. So should you buy or upgrade to the iPhone 14 Pro? In my opinion, if you have the 12 or 13 Pro, then I'd say it's not essential, particularly in light of the cost of these phones. They are premium devices and are priced accordingly. However, the 48 megapixel sensor is a huge leap over the previous 12 megapixel sensor, plus nice additions like the Dynamic Island, super bright display, amazing low light camera performance, crash detection, and SOS Satellite connectivity could make this just about the best phone out there at the moment. As long as you can drop that kind of money, of course, or ease the cost by upgrading. So what do you think of this new iPhone 14 Pro? Do you have one? Do you like it? Or are you hoping to buy one soon? Please let me know in the comments. See the links in the description to this phone and the phone case I use, plus a list of my other gear that I use to make YouTube videos, should that interest you. Thank you so much for watching, please stay safe, and I very much hope to see you soon.